Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about Systems Philanthropy 101 at Essex County Community Foundation. My name is Stratton Lloyd, and I am the COO and Executive Vice President of Community Leadership Work. And at most high-performing community foundations, and many today, sort of have a dual mission. One is to inspire philanthropy, to encourage folks to give in the community, and also to support nonprofits in that giving, in the granting work that we do. And the second area is community leadership, and this is really the opportunity to be more relevant in the broader community and to be able to have a broader community impact. And for Essex County Community Foundation, the way that we've approached that is through a systems change mindset. Really, how can we sort of understand the needs of the community and then inspire collaboration to encourage systems change and population level impact work? So what is systems change? Systems change is really the fundamental change in policies, processes, relationships, behaviors, power structures, and really a focus on the root cause of the identification and prevention from that. And it comes from similar to in a technology space. If you have a phone and you have multiple different parts of a phone, the software, the technology, the user interface, the hardware, all of those are key components. And if something goes wrong, you have to figure out where that problem is, where's that specific root cause, and then you fix that to fix the system to go forward. And so at the root of all of this systems work is a shift in mindset from linear thinking to really embracing complexity. And systems change is messy. And our systems philanthropy basically boils down to, can we pool philanthropic money to encourage and inspire collaboration and inspire community ideas that tackle the root causes and design systemic solutions that can result in equity-centered population level change. And this is a drastic shift from typical philanthropy. Rather than small grants, it's multi-year grants and bigger amounts of money. Rather than just focused on organizations, it's focused on the whole problem. Rather than ECCF just being a supporter, ECCF is now a network catalyst. And rather than a mindset of just maximizing a specific grant dollar, we're really trying to identify systems levers, areas where we can invest philanthropic money that have a systemic impact and maximize that impact. So this work complements traditional giving, and traditional giving is critical to our work and will continue to be critical, but having a component of our giving being systems-based is a critical way for us to inspire sort of innovation and also to really have a more relevant level of community leadership. Our systems philanthropy flywheel is sort of our mechanism and our approach to how we do our work. And it really starts with the data, both quantitative and qualitative data. We do a lot of research to gather that data, a lot of community sort of engagement and organizing and listening through design thinking methodologies and other methodologies to gather that data. Then we align the community around a specific area of focus, identifying those levers of change in the system where we can maximize that impact. And then we collectively engage. We galvanize around one goal, one common strategy and vision. And then we fundraise, execute, evaluate, measure, and then iterate. And that flywheel, once it gets going, really speeds up. And that's the goal of this flywheel, is really to start with the data, align the community, and then collectively engage, and then iterate so that can continue to build momentum and continue to do more over time. So I'm going to give you a specific case study, our digital equity initiative, which we launched about a year and a half ago. And this is a perfect example where this idea came from the community. We convened about 70 community leaders, and they said the digital divide was the biggest issue we needed to focus on, but we needed more data. So we went out and gathered more data, both through a study with Tufts that we have published and is on our website, which identified the key needs across the county, such as 1 in 5 families lacks a basic computer, and nearly 160,000 people live without fixed broadband. It also de-aggregated the data to make sure that we had a real equity lens and understanding where the needs were and where the opportunities were to enable our residents to realize their fullest potential. We also did about 250 community meetings, in some cases one-on-ones, in some cases focus groups, to gather more data and more information and to balance the qualitative data and information with the quantitative information. Once we had that data, we then looked and said, all right, where's our ecosystem? Let's understand and really think through our ecosystem, looking at it from the system 6 conditions of change and looking at policies, practices, resources, but also the relational components, the trust, the power dynamics, and then finally the mental model. And then through that, we identified a series strategy focused on the key barriers to access and need for the digital divide, but then also developed a strategy that really focused on those key levers of change where we thought we could maximize our philanthropic money, where we could really encourage affordable access in the communities and residents that could most benefit from that, where we could design a device strategy to be able to implement recycled devices and deliver recycled devices to nonprofits and residents from across our community. And then also how we could do a regional literacy program that could really be available to community-based organizations so that they could develop that competency specifically in their domain so that it could sustain after this work. We then collectively engaged. So data, community alignment, and then collective engaged around a 3-year, $3 million investment focused on access, literacy, devices, and coalition building. And coalition building is critical because that's the relationships, that's the trust of individuals working in Lynn to Lawrence to Cape Ann and Newburyport that they can co-learn and co-create together and be this community of practice around digital equity. And that's a critical part as we think about really transformational systemic change. A lot of it is really based in those relationships and that level of trust. So we are now doing this work intentionally where we are the lead, where we do the fundraising, the project management, the coordination, the sort of systems mapping. We do all of the work across our economic opportunity, our small business resiliency, supporting small businesses across the county, Creative County, our arts and culture effort, and then our digital equity work. And then of course, during COVID and the gas disaster, we've mobilized to do crisis philanthropy. And then more recent with COVID, really focusing on vaccinations, food systems, and mental health systems. But we also partner with others that are doing good systems work across the county, such as in the blue economy and with a current focus around offshore wind. We can play a key role, maybe as a convener, maybe as a fundraiser, maybe as a fiscal agent. In the case of our workforce development work with GE, the advanced manufacturing, where we aim to train nearly 900 individuals in a living wage advanced manufacturing job. In that role, we play both the strategic thought partner and also the fiduciary agent. So we are now doing this in multiple different ways, wherever we can best utilize our capabilities to support systems change across the county. And what has this resulted in? Nearly $31 million has been deployed in the last 4 years, serving 55,000 residents across the county and engaging nearly 1,800 organizations in this work to collaborate. Municipalities, for-profits, nonprofits, state agencies working together to solve these many different systems change efforts across the county. We have a whole slew of resources that I recommend you all go take a look at. We have on our website a lot of data on our systems approach, as well as white papers, some articles that have been published in the Foundation Review, and other thought leadership work that we are publishing all the time. We have our Think Lab reports, which are a distillation of the great design thinking and brainstorming across multiple different subject areas, such as food and mental health, which we just recently did with the COVID work, which are great reads and very easy to digest. And then finally, we have our Impact Essex County data site, which of course is our gift to the county of 105 key metrics that we update every 2 years. And we'll be updating that again this fall with new data and continuing to evolve and strengthen that as our foundational element of data work that we do for all of our systems change work. Going forward, some next big milestones that you'll be hearing about. Number one is we're going to continue to sunset some of our systems work that we've been working on now for 3 or 4 years as part of their normal life cycle in the next 6 months with a real focus on sustainability. And we are focused on that right now with Credit for Prior Learning, our Merrimack Valley small business effort, and our regional financial literacy efforts, where we are working to sunset those intentionally right now. We are also looking to establish a replicable evaluation model. So we want to be able to measure systems change work at the ecosystem level, which really has never been done before. And so we are engaging with the Philanthropy Initiative, a consultant, to go ahead and really break down that model, those 6 conditions of change I talked about earlier, and really understand how we can measure it and how we can create a replicable model that can be used for each of our different systems change efforts. And we are launching that initially this summer, evaluating our digital equity effort, as well as our Creative County initiative right now. Then finally, we'll be selecting our next regional effort, systems change effort, most likely in the next 12 or 24 months. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for your time. And if there are additional questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thank you. Bye.